Hi Connolly Clan fam! Today we have a very special video for you. Rosie has asked me if she could share her foster care and adoption story. So stick around. I hope I can make it through it without crying.
Me too.
But stick around and make sure you catch Rosie's story. All right, Rosie, so you came to our house in November of 2016, but that is not where your story started, is it?
No, I think I was like 2 when the story started.
Yeah, you were 2, we think maybe close to 3, and so that's when you were removed for the first time. And you stayed with a nice foster mom, and so she was single. And you were telling me that you really liked her a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
And all of you guys. So at the time, I believe it was 4 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there was Emma, John, you, and Elena. And so there's 4 of you, and you guys got to stay together that time for that 1.5 years, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And then your mom, she did what she needed to do that the court set, and she got you guys back. And so you guys went back home. Do you remember going back home after you were at hers? No?
I don't remember going back home, actually.
So then, I'm not 100% sure how long you were home. Maybe 8 months or something like that. And then you guys got removed for a second time. And at this time, I believe it was still 4 of you, but I do think that your mom was pregnant, or maybe she had just had Isabella. So, so you guys, I think, went to your grandparents that second time for just a little bit, but then you guys got split into other homes, correct?
So sad. And
Yes.
yes, it was correct.
Yes, it is sad when you get split. You guys were only gone for 2 months that time, and you guys ended up going back home. And then again, I'm not sure how long it was after that 2 months, maybe again another 6 months or something like that. And then you guys got removed for a 3rd time, and that is when you came to our house.
Yay!
It's probably easier for you to remember that because you were 5 then.
Yes,
Yes.
I remember coming to the house.
So you guys stayed with your grandparents for about a week, and they really wish they could have kept you, but they just didn't have the space. And so and raising 5 kids is hard.
Especially if I have kids with lice.
Yeah, that's right. You guys had lice so bad. So your grandparents did 2 treatments, I believe.
Yeah.
And then we did 2 treatments also.
Mayonnaise in my hair.
We did a mayonnaise treatment, yep, and then we did an actual lice treatment. And we were finally able to get rid of it. That was the first time we had ever had experience with lice. So you stayed there for about a week, and then we actually got a phone call. Sean and I were supposed to meet with a different set of kids. We were supposed to start pre-placement visits with them, which means like visits that you have before they actually come and stay with you forever.
Yeah.
But we got a phone call from our agency that said there is a group of 5 kids. It's it's an emergency placement. They need a home right away. Would you take them?
What if you guys didn't take us?
I know. Could you imagine how different life would be?
Oh my gosh. Where would we be?
I don't know. But I'm so glad that we took you.
Me too. I'm going to start crying now.
But you're here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
5 years later.
Yes. So you wanted to share your story.
Yes.
So what would you like to share?
Well, going back before we went to, I think, Grandma's house and then the place.
Okay.
It's sad, because my stepdad, not my dad, I got a scar on my head from when, we were playing downstairs, and we had a dog, that pooped and peed downstairs. It was a girl.
Yep.
She was not potty trained at all.
So she would poop and pee in the basement.
Yeah, her name was Lala.
Lala, yeah.
Yeah. We got her for Emma's birthday.
Yeah.
And we were down in the basement doing stuff, and somehow they got food and they started to make stuff, and then they all voted for me to go upstairs to get more food. So then I went upstairs. I tried not to do it, but they forced me, so I went upstairs. I was young, Mom.
I know. I know.
So I went upstairs and I opened the fridge, and then he grabbed a frying pan and hit my head with it.
So the first thing is you guys would play in the basement in the pee and poop.
Yes.
Yes.
It was awful.
The second thing was that you were trying to get food, and he grabbed a frying pan and hit you over the head. Why don't you tell everybody what happened after you got hit?
My head was bleeding.
Your head was bleeding, yes. And you have a very large scar across the top of your head from where the frying pan hit you.
Yeah.
Yes. And they threw, threw you in the shower?
Well, I think he might have just left. Or he went somewhere. And then my birth mom, it's so hard to not say their name.
Yeah.
My birth mom came out of her room, which she stays in there for hours.
Yeah.
And locks the door. But she came out of the room, and then she saw my head was bleeding, so then she turned the water in the bathtub, the water hot or cold, and then she put my head under it.
To rinse it out.
Yeah.
But you never went to the hospital or anything?
No.
So that was one of the other things that you guys had mentioned, was that there was not often food in the house.
Yeah.
And so you guys would go to neighbors.
Yeah, we would ask for food. And then, I'm trying, now all the memories are coming back. I remember when my stepdad took Isabella. She was not even 1. But I remember when he took her to go get milk, because my birth mom said that she would go get milk, and it took 5 hours, and my stepdad already knew that she was doing something else and getting milk. So then he got Isabella and went to go get milk, and then it probably took another hour.
And so you guys were home by yourselves?
So we were home by ourselves, and we went to the neighbors to stay there. We didn't even know these neighbors. I also remember us going to bed and hearing stuff like glass break, and one morning stuff happening, and one morning we woke up and there was blood on the wall, which it looked like there was a crime scene.
Looked like a crime scene?
Yeah, there was a smudge of blood on the wall.
Yeah.
And there was the kitchen floor was covered with just glass, just broken glass. Now I'm gonna cry.
Oh.
Crying.
It's okay. You don't have to share that story if you don't want to, if that's too emotional.
It's fine. But we saw broken glass on the floor, and then we knew what happened. So.
And what did you guys think happened?
Well, first thing we thought was he was beating her up.
Yeah.
We all thought she might have been dead.
Oh gosh, honey. So you guys were worried about your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she came home. Why? Thankfully.
Was she gone?
Yeah, she was gone.
She was gone. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
And so we were happy.
They were ecstatic
Yeah.
that she was okay.
Yeah. And okay, well, so that happened, and I remember one Halloween we were gonna go trick or treating, but we couldn't.
Okay.
We got all dressed up in our costumes and
no.
everything, and we didn't go trick or treating. Can
Yeah.
you give me 1 second to
Yeah.
go get a tissue?
Yeah, go get a tissue. So Rosie is the one. So you've been in lots of therapy.
Yes.
We have a great children's therapist. She's amazing. And so talking about this stuff is very therapeutic. But Rosie, I know, also really loves helping people. And so you have such a big heart. And so I know that one of the reasons I think you wanted to share was because you wanted to, I don't know, just let people know that, you know, if you're out there, that there's hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to let other people know that even when you've gone through bad things, that there is still some good things that can come out of that. So what else did you... And I'm trying not to cry. Tried so hard. So, you know, we have this sibling group, and they all kind of went through a similar experience, but it affected you guys all in very different ways because you guys were all different ages. And even though you went through similar things, different things happened to each one of you. And each one of you have different memories. So in therapy, you got to share a lot. And you are the one that was the most open and honest about everything that happened. And that allowed you to get done with therapy
A lot
faster than everyone else.
This is a very scary one.
Scary story?
Yeah, so my stepdad, he was building a bunk bed, and then since he was very abusive and stuff, so one time they got in an argument, he grabbed a bunk bed piece,
Right.
a bunk bed piece, and he hit her in like the back and the legs and everything. And then that night I pretended to sleep on the couch.
Okay. And how come you decided to do that?
To see what's going on.
Okay.
To see what
Because you
was,
wanted to know what was happening.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then I saw that happen, and I tried to stay awake all night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
To try to make sure everything was okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sad.
So I tried, and then this was like in the middle of the night probably.
Yeah.
And then I was not strong enough to get her up on her feet again, so she asked to go get John and Emma.
Okay.
And they were so tired.
You didn't want to get up?
I tried. They didn't. I tried to get them up. They did not. They refused to get up.
So what happened? Did you end up just helping her, or?
I tried to help her. I don't really remember, but I tried helping her. So that's all I remember really.
That memory is the one that you worked through in therapy over and over and over again. For some reason, that was the most scary for you.
Yeah.
It's probably because you tried staying awake to make sure she was okay.
I was the only one who knows about that.
Yeah, because that's right, everybody else was sleeping.
Yeah, everybody else was sleeping.
So it was you by yourself trying to help.
Yeah.
That's sad, honey.
And then this one is disgusting and gross.
Okay.
Well, my stepdad,
Yes.
he tried to do things with me.
Yeah.
He tried to like put his leg around me when watching TV and everything, and try to get
Things that just didn't feel right.
like what grown-ups would do.
Yeah.
And so then he would ask me to give him a kiss on the lips, and he was my dad, so I said yes.
Sure.
Like I do that to you and Dad.
Sure.
So I said yes, and then he would just spit in my mouth.
Ooh. Now that's not okay.
Yeah. My birth mom, she would always say, what happens in the house stays in the house. So
Yes.
I couldn't tell anyone, but then when we went into this room one day, she was like, tell me all of it, don't keep anything behind her. I was like, I was like thinking about it. I was like, okay, I'll tell you.
Yes.
Because I didn't feel comfortable just keeping it in the house.
Right. Well, and that reminds me of one thing that happened when you were at our house. And
I told you that
yes,
on the couch.
That was when John, he used to be very aggressive, and he kicked you in the nose, and you got a bloody nose, and you said to me, are we going to do what my birth mom does? And I said, well, what does your birth mom do? And you said, what happens in the house stays in the house.
Yeah, John had to be aggressive. Like he was born in a house of that.
Of aggression.
Yeah,
so that's what he learned.
And like he tried to protect us.
Right. So, do you remember what I told you?
What?
I said, oh, absolutely not. We're going to tell everybody that John kicked you in the nose. and we did tell everybody. That way they could understand, that he needed help with that.
So I was they had therapy there, and I would do it every single day.
At school?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like a free time.
With like the counselor?
Yeah, with like the counselor.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then in the middle of it, they called me and said I was leaving. I was like, leaving? I normally don't leave. I normally don't leave till like every student left because
right.
like
you guys were usually one of the last kids there. Yeah.
Until we knew how to walk.
Right.
There. But we had to get everyone.
Yeah.
And so the teachers had enough of it, and then they called CPS or someone.
Yeah.
And then we went into a van.
Okay.
And just.
So the van came and got you.
Yeah, we got into it, and then we just left.
And took you.
Mhm.
Weren't there police there?
Yes, there were police there.
Yeah, that had to be pretty scary.
It was so scary.
Yeah?
At first, I think we were supposed to go into the police car, but then we changed it to the van.
You're 5.
Yeah.
And there's police to pick you up, and other strangers, and maybe you weren't taught stranger danger.
No, I just went. They were like, get in the car. I was like, okay.
So here's what I'm thinking.
What?
I'm thinking that your story is a pretty long story.
Yes.
Because there's a lot that happened to you.
Yeah.
And it was over a lot of years, right? So I'm
this
wondering.
was over like 2 years.
Right.
This was like 2 years.
Right.
That much information.
Yes, and that was a lot. So I'm wondering if maybe we should do a part 1 and a part 2 to your story.
Sure, this could be part 1 and part 2 because we when we.
Yes, so we could do this part 1, and then we will have a part 2 to Rosie's story that talks about what happened after she came to our house, because that is a pretty long story too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, a lot happened after you got to our house.
Yeah.
So Rosie, here's what I'm thinking.
What?
You're super brave. And so make sure you guys to catch Rosie's part 2 to her story, and that will be after she came to our house, and we'll talk about everything that happened after she was placed with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's tell them bye for now.
Okay.
Bye.